Driven by Design presents Performance Leaders Through the Decades, from the 70s to today. Episode 1, the 1970s. In this six-part series, we'll be covering the leaders in automotive performance for the last 55 years. And we realize that top performance may mean different things to different people. So we'll be covering three unique areas of performance: 0 to 60 times, quarter-mile times, and of course, top speed. We'll be looking at those three areas in each decade, starting with the 70s, then the 80s, moving on to the 90s and the 2000s, then the 2010s, ending up in the 2020s. So let's get started with episode 1, the 1970s. The 70s were a time where performance cars had to fight for their identity. The decade opened with the last roar of unrestrained muscle. Massive V8s, bold styling, and straight-line performance that defined earlier years. But fuel shortages, emissions rules, and rising insurance costs reshaped the automotive landscape, and manufacturers were forced to innovate. Lighter bodies, sharper handling, early turbocharging experiments, and the rise of Japanese sports coupes signaled a shift from brute force to engineering finesse. The result was a transformative decade where performance as we previously knew it was forced to adapt, laying the groundwork for the modern sports car philosophy that followed. So with all these changes and restrictions, what cars were the top 1970s performers? Let's take a look. First up, our 1970s 0 to 60 winner. And the winner is the 1970 Dodge Challenger RT 426 Hemi with a 0 to 60 time of just 4.7 seconds. Not blinding fast in today's world, but unbelievably fast by 70s standards. The Dodge Challenger RT combined aggressive, clean styling with brute force performance. Under the hood of this top-of-the-line model sat the legendary 426 Hemi, a cast-iron Hemi V8 that delivered roughly 425 brake horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. Beyond straight-line speed, the Challenger RT Hemi was notable for its rarity and factory authenticity. True factory Hemi Challengers were produced in limited numbers, making original examples highly sought after by collectors. The Challenger RT 426 Hemi carried one of the most aggressive and refined designs of the muscle car era, defined by its long hood, short deck proportions, and wide, planted stance. RT models added visual punch with bold side stripes, hood treatments, and optional shaker scoops that made the Hemi's presence impossible to ignore. Out back, the round taillights framed in chrome created a distinctive upscale finish that set the Challenger RT apart and cemented its reputation as one of the most stylish performance cars of the 70s. Next up, the 1970s winner in the quarter-mile time category. And the winner is the 1970 Plymouth Hemi Cuda 426 with a quarter-mile time of 13.1 seconds. With the domination of American muscle cars in the 70s and the overall focus on straight-line brute performance in the early part of the decade, it's no surprise that the 426 Hemi propelled both the 0 to 60 and the quarter-mile winners to the top. While the straight-run times for both the Challenger and the Cuda were nearly identical, the slightly different gearing in the Cuda may have made it slower off the line, but got it to the quarter-mile finish line ahead of the Challenger. The 1970 model wore some of the boldest, most aggressive styling of the muscle car era, defined by its wide-body stance, deep grille, and billboard-like fenders that gave the car an unmistakably muscular silhouette. Its signature shaker hood scoop, which visibly trembled with the Hemi's idle, wasn't just dramatic. It fed cold air directly to the dual-quad 426 Hemi and became one of the car's most iconic visual cues. Clean lines, a low belt line, and optional rear spoilers added to its purposeful look, while the overall design projected menace and performance even at a standstill. This combination of raw presence and functional styling helps cement the 70 Hemi Cuda as one of the most recognizable and revered shapes in American muscle history. Moving on, our last stop in the 1970s will be in the category of top speed. Keep in mind that during the 70s, top speed runs were measured in just one direction, not using the two-way average we use today to calculate the measured top speed. All that said, the 1970s winner for overall top speed is the 1973 Ferrari 365 GT4 BB, with a top speed of 188 miles per hour. Again, not an outrageous number based on today's top speed record holders, but in the 70s, nothing could come close. The 73 Ferrari 365 GT4 BB arrived at a moment when rivals like the Lamborghini Miura had already redefined the supercar formula with mid-engine V12 layouts, leaving Ferrari, who were long loyal to front-engine designs, playing catch-up. But the introduction of the 365 GT4 BB made Ferrari stand apart from other high-performance cars of its time by embracing a far more advanced, racing-inspired layout. While many 1973 performance machines, like American muscle cars and even some European GTs, still relied on front-engine designs, the GT4 BB adopted a mid-mounted flat 12, giving it a level of sophistication and balance few rivals matched. Its wedge-shaped Pininfarina body and all-new tubular chassis further separated it from the era's more traditional designs, and it delivered an exotic, high-revving character that set it above the more conventional V8 and V12 offerings of that time. In short, the GT4 BB wasn't just another fast car. It was Ferrari signaling the future of its flagship performance lineage. Visit the Driven by Design channel for the next episode in this series and other automotive news and reviews.